Alright fans, welcome back to the second half of tonight's RWL Rage in Manchester. I'm Don Hickson, joined by Christy Ogilvie and Myron Schimmelman. And Christy, I believe you have an announcement of some importance?
I do, Don. Fans, while there will be just a slight delay in the presentation of our Ladies' Night special, it will be seen in its entirety immediately after this edition of Rage.
But right now, let's hear a few words from the participants in our second half opening match.
You know what, Jody? I used to look up to you, believed in you, but when the Bell Council was broken up, and you did nothing but build your own success, your own career, leaving me, Brandy Knox and Candy Kane to fend for ourselves. Never lifting as much as a finger to help your friends. Well now, I want to tear down your sand castle. Destroy you and all you've built.
Wench, please. I'm not scared of you or Brandy. Neither of you can do squat to me or anyone else. Because if you had any freaking drive at all, you both could have made it on your own, Brandy. Hell, she's at least trying. All you've done is spin your wheels while sniping and sniveling. Well, this whip kitten can't wait to sink her claws into your indolent. Do nothing else. See you there, chump.
And so, the bad blood between the former Bell Council members continues next, as Virginia Austin gets set to lock it up with her former stablemate, whip kitten Jody Dvorak.
This one's gonna be bowling shoe ugly, Christy.
Welcome back, fans. Our second half opening contest, scheduled for one fall with a 15-minute time limit. Coming down the aisle, from Adelaide, Australia, vivacious Virginia. Austin.
Virginia has confided to me that she is frustrated because everybody figured out of all the Bell Council girls, she was going to be the one to make it. It turned out to be Jody Dvorak, and well, she's not happy about that. And so here we are tonight.
Well, Virginia Austin is far from a total loss. Keep in mind, she has competed for the Women's World Championship against Dynamite Jeannie Parker. And even though she lost, she has competed for the Women's World Championship.
Not once, not twice, but 3 times.
Her opponent from Fontana, California, the Memphis Million heiress, Jody Dvorak.
Meanwhile, Jody Dvorak's having, her best year ever. Memphis Million winner, a run with the women's international title, and several major matches that have raised Jody's profile in the ladies' division. She's where Virginia Austin wanted to be by this time, but progress has been way slow for her. I kinda get why she's bitter, but Jody has gone out and done it for herself, unlike Virginia or Brandy Knox. Hell, Candy Kane isn't even around anymore. These two former stablemates are definitely gonna go at it tooth and nail.
That's why I booked it. I knew it would be a good match.
Former best friends turned bitter enemies, that's always gonna make for an exciting matchup. Jody Dvorak doing quite a little bit of showing off here for the benefit of the fans. And both these ladies from the Bell Council definitely have the advantage of being easy on the eyes.
That's true. Being easy on the eyes has never been a problem for either one of them.
Well, given the tensions between these two ladies, this one is going to be nothing but explosive. Referee Walt Rothburn sounds the bell, and here we go. Virginia Austin charges Jody Dvorak. Greets her with a series of kicks, goes behind German suplex on Virginia Austin. Jody follows up with a stomp to the arm and a series of mounted left-handed punches to the head of her former stablemate. Vivacious Virginia Austin, quite the powerhouse, but Jody Dvorak imposing her will on her former friend. Jody stalking Austin, turns her around, drives a knee and follows it up with a clothesline. Jody again stomping the face of Virginia Austin. Virginia counters with a kick to the leg. Jody caught up here. Oh, a knee right to the head. Jody quickly rolling out of the ring, looking absolutely unperturbed. Likewise, Virginia Austin. The two playing games with each other. Oh, what a headbutt from Jody Vorek. The referee continuing to count Jody. She runs over to whoa! Wicked kick right to the side of the head of vicious Virginia Austin. Jody opens up with a series of rights and lefts, and oh, a beautiful uppercut. And a stomp to the arm again. Virginia Austin catching more hard punches from Jody Vorek, and a disrespectful slap to the face to boot. And she goes right back in again. Jody Vorek absolutely unrelenting up to this point and completely in control of the matchup. Austin rolled back into the ring as Jody takes herself to the top right turnbuckle, getting ready to go air here, elbow across the back of Virginia Austin. Jody rolls her over, covers, hooks the leg. 1, 2. On near fall, but Virginia Austin kicking out. A series of wrist clutch kicks to the ribs and a forearm to Virginia Austin. Jody Vorek absolutely unrelenting here. Austin counters with a jawbreaker. Tags Jody with a right. Hard whip to the ropes. A hip toss. And Virginia Austin trying to turn things around here in this matchup. A hard right to Jody, winds up the arm. A slap to the back of the head. Oh, what a hard shot. Jody Vorek catches a drop kick to the back as she starts to a foot right against the throat of Jody Vorek as Virginia Austin starts to pull away here just a little bit. Austin with a rear chinlock, but has to disengage it on the orders of the referee. Jody looking at neither one of these two, both of them just showboating one after the other. These two, a lot of tension between them. The Memphis Millionaire is still on the outside. Virginia Austin decides to follow her out. Gets caught up, driven into the barricades by Jody. They lock up. Pitched by her hair by Virginia Austin. Jody Vorek. Oh, look at this. That's disgusting. Virginia Austin laughing at Jody Vorek, but she seems completely unfazed. Rolls herself back inside. Wicked kick to the face from Virginia Austin. Austin with a slap. A shot. Oh, look at this. Has her by the throat. One arm slams her down to the mat. Virginia Austin trying to shift the momentum here, but Jody quickly back up on her feet. Jody Vorek sets it up, wrist clutch kick to the face. Down goes Virginia Austin. Again, Jody Vorek stalking Virginia. Turns it around, drives a knee into the head, and there's a clothesline. And out to the floor rolls Virginia Austin over the top rope. Whoa! What an elbow to Virginia Austin, and Jody going right back in with those raining punches and a slap to the face of Virginia Austin. Jody Vorek absolutely playing with her prey here. Drives a knee into the head, and there's a clothesline. Virginia Austin looking completely ineffectual so far. There's a stomp to the face. And a stomp to the lower abdomen. Virginia Austin turns it around, slams Jody Vorek face first into the floor. Austin catches a kick to the midsection. Jody drives her towards the barricades, has had quite enough, makes her way back inside the ring as the referee continues to count Virginia Austin. And whoa, wait a minute, she just started the count again. She just stepped out to go after Virginia. Rounds her up. Drives a knee into the midsection. Rounds up Virginia Austin, and sit up powerbomb on the outside. The referee continuing to count wrist clutch kicks to the ribs and another forearm. And Virginia Austin taking quite the shellacking here at the hands of the whip kitten Jody Vorek. All the way up, driving knee right into the head. Jody gathers her up once more, drives her into the barricade. Gathers her back up again and decides to make her way back towards the ring. The referee still counting Virginia Austin as Jody continues to show. She breaks the count yet again. going out after Austin one more time. Has her up, Virginia Austin. Whoa, catches a nasty shot from Jody. From both wrists, a driving knee. Right into the head of Virginia. Virginia counters with a kick, gets back up on her feet. Jody counters with a knee to the head. These two. It is something else. Jody Vorek driven into the barricade as Austin gathers her up one more time. Tries to drive her into the ring steps, but Jody quickly putting on the brakes, but winds up bounced off the barricades once more. Virginia Austin slowly making her way back to the ring. Jody shakes it off. Makes her way back inside as well. Virginia misses with the leg sweep, and Jody's about to make her pay. Look at this. Oh, what a nasty slam. And here's a cover. 1, 2. But again, no. All the near falls have really gone to Jody Vorek for the most part. Jody off the middle rope. Misses with the kick. Virginia Austin tries to capitalize on the mistake, gouging the face of Jody Vorek from behind. Austin turns her over. Turns her over again. Follows it up with a hard kick to the leg of Jody Vorek. Follows that up with an elbow to the leg. And Virginia Austin quickly shoved away by the whip kitten Jody Vorek. Jody rounds up Austin again. One arm slams her face first into the canvas. Jody quickly going for the cover and hooking the leg here. 1, 2, 3, and that one took firm hold as Jody Vorek defeats her former stablemate by pinfall.
Here's the time, 7 minutes, 26 seconds to your winner, Jody Dvorak.
Well, there you have it. From Memphis Millionaires, Jody Vorek picking up a pinfall win over her former stablemate, vivacious Virginia Austin, and a pretty spectacular matchup.
But don't kid yourselves. One day Virginia Austin's gonna make it. It's just a question of when, and the proper circumstances falling into line.
Well, that may be true, but we'll just have to wait and see. We'll be back with more RWL Rage immediately following the break. Please stay with us.
Alright, coming up we got one more really good tag team match, which is gonna set Vic LaRue and Golden Al Barnett, the Canadian Cartel, against Bubba Ray and Devon Dudley, the Dudley Boys.
The next tag team match is scheduled for one fall with a 20-minute time limit. Approaching the ring at a combined weight of 486 pounds, from Canada, Golden Al Barnett and Vic LaRue. Together, they are the Canadian Cartel.
It is time to knock it up with Golden Al Barnett and Vic LaRue, the Canadian Cartel. The graduates of the Riley Flash Wrestling Academy, Barnett and LaRue, have definitely been holding their own for quite some time around here in RWL, and they have become a prominent tag team. Still haven't gotten a hold of any gold yet, but that may happen someday.
It's not like they haven't had opportunities. They've had title shots down. The trouble is they've never been able to pull the trigger when the time was crucial.
Well, perhaps what Barnett and LaRue need is a stroke of good luck, and this match against the Dudley Boys would be a great one if they could pull it off.
Their opponents from Dudleyville, combined weight 547 pounds, Bubba Ray and Devon Dudley, the Dudley Boys.
The Dudleyville Lumber Company in the house, Bubba Ray and Devon, without the Duchess of Dudleyville, Stacy Keebler. Perhaps Bubba Ray and Devon deciding this might be a bit too brutal for her to be around.
Dudleys are a premier tag team in the Legends division, second only in fame to the Road Warriors. And they are another case of a team that hasn't found their way to tag team titles for a pretty good length of time. Like the cartel, not through lack of opportunity, they've had their fair share of title matches as well. And, like the Canadian cartel, Lady Luck just didn't buy a ticket on those nights. With both these teams looking to show that they are ripe for another shot, it's a must-win for both sides, and only one can get the W here. Given the Dudleys' experience, I'm thinking they're most likely to end this one with their hands raised.
A very distinct possibility, Christy. Multiple-time tag team champions everywhere they've ever been.
Well, come what may, this is going to be a violent confrontation. What else can it be when you've got the Canadian Cartel and the Dudley Boys going at it in the same matchup? All right, with the sides chosen up, it's going to be Vic LaRue and Bubba Ray Dudley starting off this tag team matchup. And what a tag team matchup it's going to be. Referee Willie Johnson sounds the bell. And then comes center ring, they lock it up, collar and elbow. LaRue whipped to the Dudley Boys corner at once. A splash from Bubba Ray Dudley has him up, holds him up there, slams him right down center ring. Bubba Ray Dudley follows that up with a punch to the chest. Wow. LaRue rounded up by Bubba Ray Dudley. Whipped back into the Dudley Boys corner. Quick evasion by Vic LaRue, takes down Bubba Ray. And now Vic LaRue delivers a face wash to Bubba Ray Dudley. Bubba Ray rolls out towards center as Vic LaRue steps out. Here comes Golden Al Barnett on the tag. Barnett charges. A clothesline takes Bubba Ray right back down. He goes after Devon too, but that plan backfires. Bubba Ray Dudley goes back behind him, tags him with a shot, whips him over the top rope out onto the floor. On the Dudley Boys side of town, and Bubba Ray going after Golden Al Barnett and Vic LaRue here. Bubba Ray and Devon going after both members of the Canadian Cartel. Bubba Ray on the outside apron, slamming the head of Vic LaRue into the apron. Golden Al Barnett on the wrong side of town and in big trouble in a 2-against-1 situation against the Dudleys. Barnett whipped towards the barricade as Bubba Ray makes his way back in. Referee Willie Johnson continuing the count. Here comes Devon Dudley tagged in as Barnett makes his way back inside the ring. Devon Dudley waiting right there to greet him. Oh, hard elbow. Devon with a quick cover. One, but only just a one. Golden Al Barnett makes the tag to Vic LaRue. And here he comes. Whoa! Beautiful wraparound DDT. Slamming deep. Oh, a clothesline that kind of glances but doesn't make full contact. Devon with a hard shot to the back of Vic LaRue has him up. Spine buster. Devon Dudley going to work on a down Vic LaRue. Here's a elbow to the leg of LaRue. Pitched across the ring by his ankle by Devon Dudley. A rolling elbow across the back. Devon Dudley really laying in, but misses with the elbow. Vic LaRue back up on his feet before it was too late. LaRue has him up. Devon counters and escapes what could have been a backbreaker. Devon Dudley whips LaRue to the ropes. Power slam center ring. Well executed by Devon Dudley. Devon rounds up LaRue again. Hard whip into the Dudley Boys corner. Here comes Bubba Ray on the tag. Here comes a double team from the Dudley Boys. Bubba Ray catches LaRue. Has him up. Look at this right here. Double power bomb. Nearly folding LaRue in half as Vic LaRue tries to make his way. Here's the tag to Golden Al Barnett. Barnett catches a series of shots from Bubba Ray and a clothesline that takes him down to the mat. Bubba Ray tries for Vic LaRue, but he counters with an elbow, returns to work on Barnett with a stomp to the head and a clubbing blow to the back of Golden Al Barnett. Bubba Ray Dudley certainly fired up here. Bubba Ray gathers up Golden Al Barnett, whips him over to Dudleyville. Uh-oh, look at this. Whoa! Flying pan chop across the chest. Barnett catches a headlock punch from Bubba Ray. Here, look at this. He's going to go topside. I thought he was going to tag, but no. Bubba Ray Dudley's getting ready to go air here. Barnett makes his way to a standing position. Here comes Bubba Ray. Whoa! Countered into a power bomb by Golden Al Barnett. That was just beautiful. Barnett right back into the Dudley Boys corner as Devon Dudley is brought in. Another double team. A scoop slam from Bubba Ray. A little high five. A little fist bump. And a double headbutt to Golden Al Barnett as Bubba Ray Dudley steps out and Devon Dudley takes over, stamping the hands and fingers of Golden Al Barnett. Barnett trapped center ring more or less. Devon Dudley with a discus punch takes him right back down again. Barnett gathered up once more. Devon whips him into the corner, but Barnett quick with the counter. Gets a hold of Devon Dudley. Escorts him to the far right corner, smashes his head into the turnbuckle, and begins yanking, playing tug of war with the arm of Devon Dudley. Hard shot right to the face. Down goes Devon into the corner. Barnett going to help him out of the corner with a little assisted alley-oop as he steps out, and here comes Vic LaRue again. LaRue moves in on Devon, locks him up, escorts him towards the ropes. Vic LaRue also playing tug of war with the arm of Devon Dudley. A series of hard right hands, a double shot to the midsection. Devon unable to get away from those ropes. Vic LaRue really starts to open up here. He's going to try and yank that arm right the hell out of the socket. A drop toe hold from LaRue and into a submission. Stretching the leg of Devon Dudley. Devon turning it around. Delivers a couple of shots. Gets himself disengaged. LaRue back up on his feet. Devon Dudley right there to greet him. Gets a hold of the trunk. Snap suplex to Vic LaRue. Devon Dudley moves in on LaRue again. One arm slams him with authority. Devon Dudley once again stamping the hands and fingers of Vic LaRue as Golden Orb Barnett looks on. Barnett catches a shot from Devon. Vic LaRue trying to make his way to a standing position. Devon Dudley moves in on him. Whoa! Pitched over the top rope, back body drop, out he went. Here comes Golden L. Barnett. The referee begins the count. Barnett goes after Bubba Ray, takes him down. Devon takes him down with a clothesline. Devon Dudley starts to open up on Golden L. Barnett. Hard whip to the ropes. Devon with a kick to the midsection. Turns him around. Look at it. Oh, man. Inverted DDT. Devon going for the cover. One, but, oh. Vic LaRue right there to break up the pin. And Golden L. Barnett is busted up. He is bleeding. All the way up to the top goes Devon. Drops the elbow across the chest of Barnett. Barnett rounded up again. Kick to the midsection and a DDT. Devon Dudley shifting the momentum towards the Dudley boys here, at least for the moment. Devon on the outside with Golden L. Barnett as the referee counts. Devon with another kick to the midsection, tries for the DDT, but catches a clothesline from Barnett instead. And now, Golden L. Barnett into a heel hook stretch on Devon Dudley on the outside as the referee continues to count. Barnett gathers up Devon, locks him up. Devon, quick with the upper hand, drives him into the barricade. And takes himself back inside as Willie Johnson continues to count Golden L. Barnett. Devon going after Vic LaRue as well. A hard right hand. He steps out onto the apron with LaRue, and he's going to let gravity do the work. Slams him into the lip of the apron. Returns his attentions to Golden L. Barnett. Has him up over the shoulder. Takes a little walk with him. And slams him head first into the lip of the apron too. The Dudley boys clearly in control at the present time. Both members of the Canadian cartel are laid out. There's an elbow to the leg of Golden L. Barnett. Barnett turned over again by Devon. And once more, another elbow to the leg as Vic LaRue slowly reaches a standing position. Devon going to go after him too. Look at this. Sidewalk slam. Devon Dudley in control of both members of the Canadian cartel. This is insane. Kick to the midsection and another DDT to Barnett. Devon Dudley, a one-man wrecking crew here. Takes himself back inside the ring as the referee continues to count Barnett. He goes after Vic LaRue, tags him a shot, and an enziguri and puts him down on the floor again. Devon Dudley steps out. Bubba Ray was waiting for the tag, but Devon Dudley suddenly changing his mind. Barnett drives Devon Dudley into the ring steps, and he might have wanted to tag out. Barnett back inside the ring. Goes after Bubba Ray, but catches a knee instead. Devon Dudley back inside the ring. Barnett whips him to the ropes. Makes a duck under. Oh, kitchen sink knee right to the gut. Here's a cover. One. But only a one. Devon Dudley with far too much steam in the tank right now. Barnett snaps the arm on Devon Dudley. Devon gathered up. Neckbreaker drop from Golden Al Barnett. The Canadian Cartel trying to turn it around here. Devon whipped to the ropes. Another kitchen sink knee right to the midsection of Devon Dudley. And here comes Vic LaRue on the tag. As the momentum begins to shift, here's a clothesline from Devon. A rolling elbow to the back of Vic LaRue. Devon wisely beating it out of town. Here comes Bubba Ray Dudley as Vic LaRue gets back to a standing position on the other side of the ring. Bubba Ray misses with his move, shoves back Vic LaRue. Gets a hold of him, whips him to the far right corner, but winds up in the opposing corner somehow, some way. I'm not even sure how that happened exactly. Bubba Ray Dudley locks it up and Vic LaRue has him up over the shoulders. Escorts him to that far right corner again. Drops him head first into the turnbuckle. Bubba Ray Dudley trying to maintain the control of the match that the Dudley boys have had so far. Vic LaRue escapes the corner, gets a hold of Bubba Ray Dudley, whips him to his team corner, the Canadian Cartel. Here's a tag to Golden Al Barnett. A double team coming up for Bubba Ray Dudley. And whoa, double shoulders. Takes him down, a driving knee from Barnett as he assumes control for his team. Barnett rounds up Bubba Ray. Gets a hold of the leg. Whoa! Little small package suplex right there. And it is definitely time to Canuck it up for the Canadian Cartel. Trying to regain the advantage in this matchup. Bubba Ray Dudley rounded up by Vic LaRue. Gets a hold of the leg. There's that small package. And this one's a pin. 1, 2. And had it not been for Devon Dudley, this match might be over. Vic LaRue showing Devon Dudley the outside. Bubba Ray on the apron. Makes his way back inside. A clothesline drives him into the Canadian Cartel's corner. Bubba Ray counters, escapes the corner. Gets a hold of Vic LaRue. Hard whip to the ropes. And up we go and down we go. What a neck breaker from Bubba Ray. Here's a cover. 1, 2. Again. Barnett saving the match for the Canadian Cartel. Vic LaRue's laid out. The referee's out to lunch. I'm not even sure how that happened. A punch to the chest. So Vic LaRue from Bubba Ray Dudley. A kick to the midsection. Bubba Ray winds it up. Another neck breaker drop. Referee Willie Johnson still out to lunch here as Bubba Ray Dudley takes himself up to the middle rope. Misses with the senton. Vic LaRue getting out of the way just in time here. Winds up the arm on Bubba Ray. Gets him down on one knee. Willie Johnson finally coming out of it here. As Vic LaRue steps out, here comes Golden Al Barnett. Barnett moves in on Bubba Ray. There's a clothesline. Takes him down. Bubba Ray catches an elbow to the top of the skull. Here's a cover. 1, 2. Oh, that's it. The Canadian Cartel picking up the win here over the Dudley boys. How about that?
Here's the time, 12 minutes, 48 seconds, and your winners, the Canadian Cartel.
Well, they are busted up, battered, beaten, bleeding and bruised, but nonetheless, Golden Al Barnett and Vic LaRue picking up the 3-count pinfall win here over the Dudley boys. And yeah, look at them. The Canadian Cartel fired up, the crowd's fired up. What a matchup that was. Ladies and gentlemen, we will be back with more RWL Rage immediately following the break. Stay with us. Coming up, Legends Division single competition with Kurt Hennig, Mr. Perfect, accompanied by Bobby the Brain Heenan, in a non-title matchup with the Legends World Champion, the Hot Scot, Roddy Piper.
The following non-title Legends Division match, scheduled for one fall, with a 15-minute time limit. Coming down the aisle, along with Bobby the Brain Heenan, from Robbinsdale, Minnesota, weighing 234 pounds, Kurt Hennig, Mr. Perfect.
Whether in single competition or in tag team action with his partner Lex Luger, Mr. Perfect almost always delivering a perfect match, if you will. Tonight, in this non-title match with the Hot Scot Roddy Piper, Mr. Perfect hoping to prove that he is worthy of a shot at the Legends World Championship.
Definitely not impossible, Don. Mr. Perfect would make a terrific Legends World Champion. The only thing standing in his way is Roddy Piper,
who has held on to that Legends World title with both hands since taking it away from Stone Cold Steve Austin months ago.
So far, plenty of folks have tried, but Piper's skill is amazing, and his luck is ungodly. But Kurt Hennig is one of those guys that could take down the Hot Scot if he applies himself to the task.
His opponent, from Glasgow, Scotland, weighing 236 pounds, the RWL Legends World Champion, Roddy Piper.
They say familiarity breeds contempt, and Roddy Piper is certainly familiar and contemptuous of Kurt Hennig, Mr. Perfect, especially when we're talking about the Legends World Championship being in jeopardy, which it is not tonight, but could be if Mr. Perfect picks up a win here.
He knows Piper from their past encounters, so it's not undiscovered country or anything. But we go right back to Hot Rod, guarding that belt with his life these days. And he doesn't look very worried about dropping this non-title matchup with Mr. Perfect. Only possible wildcard would be Bobby Heenan, who I wish Kurt Hennig would have left backstage.
You know, I kind of wish the same thing. He's not as bad as Welfare Popeye, but he's still a nuisance.
And it's no great military secret that if things start to go south for Mr. Perfect, Bobby the Brain Heenan will almost certainly intercede on his behalf. The Perfect One with a huge opportunity to prove himself here if he can take down the Hot Scot. Referee Walt Rothburn sounds the bell. Perfect charges clothesline, puts Piper out on the floor immediately. Hot Rod makes his way back in, annoyed but undaunted, winds him up. Mr. Perfect into an abdominal stretch. Mr. Perfect counters that into a hip toss. The Perfect One drives a knee into the arm of Roddy Piper. Follows that up with a stomp to the face and a stomp to the back of the head as Bobby the Brain Heenan looks on, cheering on Mr. Perfect. Here's a hard shot from Piper. Piper with a gouge of the face. And another. Roddy Piper definitely not fooling around here. Oh, inverted atomic drop right in the lower regions. Perfect whip to the ropes. A duck under and a rising knee takes Mr. Perfect down to the mat. Roddy Piper dribbling the head of Mr. Perfect against the canvas like a basketball. Now following that up with hard right hands to the side of the temple of Mr. Perfect. Roddy Piper catches a jawbreaker from Kurt Hennig. A clothesline takes Piper down. Piper quickly back up again, but right back down into a drop toe hold from Mr. Perfect. Perfect trying to stretch that leg, but Roddy Piper counters with a series of shots. Frees himself from Mr. Perfect. Charges, there's a clothesline, takes Perfect down to the canvas. Piper covers, hooks the leg. One. But nope, Mr. Perfect getting the right shoulder up. Piper misses with the clothesline, catches the German suplex from Mr. Perfect. Perfect moves in, goes for the cover. One. Man, this match has been going fast. The Perfect One rounds up Piper, winds up the arm, gets him down on the knee, stomps the shoulder. Mr. Perfect going to work on the arm of Roddy Piper. A wise strategy to be sure. A hard right stuns Piper. Piper quickly counters with a right of his own, gets a hold of Mr. Perfect. Gets a hold of the trunks, has him up for the long vertical suplex. The Hot Scot. Watching as Mr. Perfect rolls out to the floor, takes himself to the top turnbuckle on the far right, and here we go, boom! Double axe handle right across the head of Kurt Hennig. A stomp to the arm from Roddy Piper. A series of hard lefts right to the head of the Perfect One. Bobby Heenan looking on, no doubt in some degree of horror. Roddy Piper gouges the face of Mr. Perfect. There's a chop, there's another, there's a right. And the Perfect One catches an atomic drop. Bobby Heenan beating it the hell out of town here, giving these guys a wide berth. Mr. Perfect drives Piper into the ring steps as Bobby Heenan quietly walks away. Mr. Perfect snaps the arm on Piper. Parlays that into an armbar. Kurt Hennig back on his feet before Piper. Gathers him back up to a standing position. Decides to take himself back inside the ring. Roddy Piper in hot pursuit. Moves in on Mr. Perfect. They lock it up. Perfect whip to the far left corner. Piper with a series of machine gun punches takes Perfect down to a seated position. Roddy Piper charges. Sets it. Oh, a slap to the face. Thought it would be much more, but Bobby Heenan already disapproving of Roddy Piper's treatment of his merchandise. Mr. Perfect, meanwhile, laid out as Piper goes back to work delivering hard lefts to the side of the head of Mr. Perfect, follows that up with a slap to the face. Piper paying no attention to Bobby the Brain Heenan into a sleeper hold, but too close to the rope, says the referee. Bobby Heenan, seen quite enough, going to disengage that turnbuckle. The referee warning him off here. Here's Piper with another cover. 1, 2, 3, and just like that, this one is all over. Roddy Piper defeats Mr. Perfect. Let's get the official time.
Here's the time, 4 minutes and 51 seconds. And your winner, Roddy Piper.
So once again, the Hot Scot, Roddy Piper, picking up another win, another non-title win against Kurt Hennig, Mr. Perfect, who may have to go back to the drawing board in his hunt for championship gold. The Hot Scot absolutely firmly in control of Mr. Perfect, almost from the first bell to the last. And what an encounter between these two. Ladies and gentlemen, when we return, it will be our main event, the Rage Television Championship, on the line when we come back. Fans, in tonight's main event, the rocking Rick Boogs with an opportunity of a lifetime, a shot at the Rage Television Championship, held by T-Dog Tomasio. Yes, sir, Rockin' Rick Boogs' number has come up. He has a huge opportunity to snatch away the Rage Television Championship from T-Dog Tomasio, and the only thing he needs to do is get a 3-count pinfall or a submission, but that is not going to be an entirely easy thing for him to pull off.
It's not impossible, though. Rick Boogs is definitely on T-Dog's level. He could pull off an upset. It's not impossible. I wouldn't rule it out. It could very well happen.
Boogs totally has what it takes. He's got a respectable win-loss record. And he's got that old-school wrestling style that T-Dog Tomasio shares with him. And as far as I can remember, they've never crossed paths before. So it should be a pretty exciting main event on that alone. Do I think Boogs will leave Manchester with the belt tonight, though? I'm kinda on the fence on that. Only because Tomasio has been so steadfast in his defense of the Snarl TV title. The odds just favor the Dogster, just that much more.
You know how it is, Christy. We usually tend to favor the champion in a title match. And I guess the Dogster, well, he has been doing pretty good for himself, hasn't he?
And just take a look at this. Look who he has got coming along with him down to ringside. No less a personage than the Snarl General Manager Hangman Tex Lynch, his former tag team partner in Masks Incorporated. Tex Lynch coming down to support his tag team partner and friend in this title defense.
It's nice to see Tex coming down to ringside. He's been so busy. Him and Steve Groves both with all the general manager stuff. We didn't get to see too much of him during the tour. But here he is wearing that big old 10-gallon hat of his. And T-Dog Tomasio looking down the barrel of possibly losing the Rage Television title, which would not be good for him.
An exciting main event to be sure, the Rage Television Championship hanging in the balance here, and Rick Boogs again with a massive opportunity to elevate his stock to previously unseen levels.
tonight's Rage main event, one fall with a 20-minute time limit, is for the RWL Rage Television Championship. The challenger, from Columbus, Ohio, weighing 234 pounds, here is Rick Boogs. His opponent, along with Hangman Tex Lynch, from parts unknown, weighing 240 pounds, the RWL Rage Television Champion, T-Dog Temesio.
The Dogster, having grown quite accustomed to having that Rage Television title as he turns it over to referee Walt Rothburn for the inspection of Rick Boogs, who has got to be excited about this matchup. And what a main event we are looking at right here. Rick Boogs stands at the ready, so does T-Dog Tomasio. Here's our main event, the bell sounds. The man comes entering. T-Dog with a hard right away, goes behind Rick Boogs, counters with an elbow. They lock up again. Boogs quickly countered by the Dogster. Inverted DDT center ring, dropping the back of the head of Rick Boogs against the canvas. Boogs quickly countering the Dogster, has him up over the shoulder in the fireman's carry. Samoan drop, taking him down. Tex Lynch looking a little bit exasperated already. Rick Boogs pitches him halfway across the ring. There's a kick to the leg from Rick Boogs. T-Dog Tomasio catches a clubbing overhead right before he can even stand. Tex Lynch looking on as Rick Boogs gets ready to go topside, getting ready to go here as the Dogster stands up, and there's a shoulder tackle, taking the Dogster right down to the mat again. Rick Boogs with a two-handed choke lift and hurls T-Dog Tomasio to the other side of the ring. Delivers a kick to the leg. And another, the Dogster on the defensive in the early goings here. He shoves Rick Boogs down to the mat. Nails him with an overhand right. Gathers him back up. Rick Boogs with a short, catches a short shot from the Dogster. Rick Boogs counters, back up on his feet, locks up T-Dog Tomasio. T-Dog goes around with the counter again. Another inverted DDT. As Tex Lynch looks on in approval. Rick Boogs steps out, steps back in. T-Dog Tomasio talking trash to Rick Boogs already. A hard right from Rick Boogs. Boogs counters. Another one spins the Dogster around. He goes behind. T-Dog Tomasio counters with an elbow. They lock it up again. Rick Boogs placed up against the ropes. T-Dog Tomasio has him up, back suplex. Dropping Rick Boogs on the back of his head practically. The Dogster with a stamp to the arm of Rick Boogs. Again, ladies and gentlemen, this is our main event. The Rage Television title on the line. 20-minute time limit. A little bit longer than we're used to seeing. The Dogster all the way up as Rick Boogs reaches a standing position. Here we go. Whoa! An elbow right to the top of the head of Rick Boogs. Beautiful fist drop from T-Dog Tomasio. Rick Boogs counters with a kick, back up on his feet, gets a hold of the Dogster. Whoa! Pump handle suplex from Rick Boogs. T-Dog Tomasio counters with a shot to the midsection, tries for the drop toe hold, but doesn't get it. Counters with a kick instead. Whoa, look at this. Whoa, whole bunch of fancy stuff right there going on. T-Dog Tomasio covers, hooks the leg, 1, 2. But Rick Boogs getting that left shoulder up. Doesn't want this match to end quite that way. The title on the line here. Rick Boogs is going to really try hard to pick up a win here over the Dogster, but he is not doing too well right now. T-Dog with a jab, a kick, goes behind, German suplex to Rick Boogs. Boogs rolls on out to the floor. The Dogster getting ready to go here off the top left turnbuckle. Here we go, another elbow to the top of the head of Rick Boogs. Boogs with a shoulder claw from T-Dog Tomasio as referee Walt Rothburn continues to count. T-Dog drives a knee into the head of Rick Boogs, and I do believe he just busted him open. Tomasio locks him up, swing and a miss from Rick Boogs. He's got him up. Atomic drop right to the keister. T-Dog Catches a knee to the midsection from Rick Boogs. Hard right, spins the Dogster around. Boogs goes behind, has him up. Pays the atomic drop back in spades. And takes himself back inside the ring before time runs out. The Dogster following him in. Look at this, Rick Boogs doing a little bit of showboating here. Hard right, spins him around. T-Dog lays in a sleeper hold. Rick Boogs far enough away from the ropes that it's useful. T-Dog not releasing the hold at all. But Rick Boogs, resourceful as ever, with a jawbreaker, disengages the hold. Locks up T-Dog Tomasio. Whips him towards the ropes. Misses with that shoulder. Charges again, but takes him down the hard way. T-Dog Tomasio catches a stomp to the midsection from Rick Boogs. The Dogster trying to make his way to a standing position in the corner. Delivers a kick to Boogs. Gets himself back up. Misses with the drop kick. Rick Boogs rolling out of the way. Boogs with a, tried for the gut wrench suplex. T-Dog went behind on him. Rick Boogs with another impressive counter and a running boot. Takes T-Dog Tomasio down to the mat. Rick Boogs taking a moment to rally some support from the fans here in Manchester. Pitches T-Dog into the far right corner. T-Dog counters. Rick Boogs counters. Double axe handle. Takes the Dogster down to the canvas. And Rick Boogs going to take full advantage of T-Dog Tomasio being down. Rounds him up. Another double axe handle. An elbow. T-Dog misses with the clothesline. Boogs rebounds and a clothesline takes the Dogster down and into the far left corner. Rick Boogs quickly countered by T-Dog Tomasio. Boogs counters Tomasio. Tries for the gut wrench. That was just Rick Boogs starting to feel a little bit more confident here. T-Dog with a jab. Invites him to come along. Delivers an elbow to Rick Boogs. Goes behind on him. Has him up for another atomic drop. And T-Dog Tomasio putting the boots to Rick Boogs. There's another shoulder claw. Tomasio trying to wear down Rick Boogs, his challenger for the Rage television title. T-Dog all the way up to the top turnbuckle. Boom! Big time leg drop across the throat of Rick Boogs, and he is out. Look at this. Here's a cover. 1, 2, 3. T-Dog Tomasio retaining the Rage television title by pinfall.
Here's the time, 6 minutes, 20 seconds. Your winner and still Rage Television Champion, T-Dog Tomasio.
You see that? How can you not be impressed with T-Dog Tomasio? You give him a 20-minute time limit, and he wraps up Rick Boogs in 6 and change to retain the title? You don't see that kind of talent every day, guys. You really don't.
Well, all right, ladies and gentlemen, that puts the cap on this week's edition of RWL Rage. As always, we thank all of you for joining us and for supporting RWL in the way that you do. Ladies and gentlemen, as we mentioned earlier at the start of the program, coming up next is a special edition of Ladies Night, a tournament edition of Ladies Night for the season premiere. We will be back next week. For all of us here at RWL, I've been Don Hickson. Thanks, and we'll see you at ringside next time.